In this brief presentation, I will elaborate on one of the articles of faith in Islam. We have 6 articles of faith, but today I will focus only on one of them, and that is to believe that there is life after death. That people are here on earth as a test. When the time comes, people die, and in the afterlife, all people will be resurrected. And not only resurrected, they will be accountable for their actions on earth. In Islam, it is important to mention that not only good people will be resurrected, but all people, good and bad, will be resurrected and will be accountable for their actions. This concept of the afterlife and the resurrection of all human beings is one of the most frequently mentioned theme in the Qur'an. In fact, we can say that 1/3 of the Qur'an is about the life after death. So it is so significant that the Qur'an dedicates 1/3 of it to this concept of the afterlife. It is believed that since the Qur'an is the final message of God, it has become necessary to speak about the final moment of human history and the life after death. It becomes the mission of the Qur'an, because the Qur'an is a final message, so the final moment of human history is part of its message and part of its mission to elaborate and to give details about it. Every human has a specific lifespan and eventually dies. All human beings eventually will die. Now, when we think of the life of human beings, today, the life of people generally may differ according to the countries, but there is a general life expectancy on earth. Perhaps the highest would be around 78, 80 years, but eventually people die. So what is that? What's going on? Basically, Islam says when people die, they are not dying forever. They are actually going to another place, and that's what's called the afterlife. The Quranic verse speaks of the easiness of this event for God. Yes, it is a big event, but for God, it is really very easy. A verse in the Quran says, your creation and resurrection for God is as easy as the creation and the resurrection of one human being. So this Quranic verse clearly states that the resurrection of all human beings and bringing them to justice and to accountability in the afterlife is as easy as to bring one human being to the day of judgment. So because of the actions of God happen through divine command, the command of be in the Quran, when God wants something to happen, according to the Quranic teaching, God only says be, and it happens. So God does not need a physical involvement. God commands, and it happens. And therefore, because it's a command from God, there is no difficulty for God. There is no such a thing that is difficult. And that's why we have a very prominent verse in the Quran that I think it's also in the Bible, that with God everything is possible. Or the Quran says God is powerful over everything. And therefore, bringing of the afterlife for God is very easy, according to the Quran. In fact, one Quranic verse says, as life is a gift for human beings, death also is a gift. Apparently, it sounds like contradictory. How death can be a gift? This is something that people are afraid of, and people don't like it. But the Quran says it's also a gift for human beings. Islamic scholars have interpreted this Quranic verse, and they say that if there is no death, the world will not be able to accommodate all of the human beings.